Shalom Yashra'Allah. Shalom Yahawada. Brother Malak, back with a quick lesson in the spirit. And I wanted to allude or kind of continue on what I was stating yesterday, specifically about the Space Force. I kind of seen this flag protruding down the wall and whatnot. And you kind of see them. You kind of see these flags of different varieties, wherever they may be. But the Space Force flag, it really intrigues me because obviously your Gov knows there's something coming to invade the space. Besides other militaries or whatnot. The real reason why the Space Force is manifested is because of the scrolls, the scriptures, and what they entail and what's coming down the pike. And let's open up the scrolls. Zechariah 5. It says, "Then I turned up and lift up my eyes and looked, and behold, a flying roll." A flying roll. This is Prophet Zechariah. Verse 2. "And he said unto me, What seest thou? And I answered, I see a flying roll. The length thereof is 20 cubits, and the breadth thereof 10 cubits. Then said he unto me, This is the curse that goeth forth over the face of the whole earth. For everyone that stealeth shall be cut off." And we know who's the biggest thief of them all. "According to it, and everyone that sweareth shall be cut off, as on that side according to it. I will bring it forth, said the Lord of hosts, and it shall enter into the house of the thief, and into the house of him that sweareth falsely by my name. And it shall remain in the midst of his house, and shall consume it with the timber thereof and the stones thereof." And notice you see a lot of these sightings of these mysterious, mystical, spiritual, flying vehicles in the atmosphere. There's millions and millions of videos. Maybe not millions, I'm exaggerating a bit much, but there's a lot of videos on these so-called UFOs and UPAs, or UAPs rather. And man, especially men that are not spiritual, and women for that matter, they like to dub stuff with their fleshly thinking. But when you open up the scrolls, the Bible, you realize spiritually those vehicles, the vehicles that's coming, they're spiritual. The Bible calls them by many code names: chariots, whirlwinds, clouds, etc., etc. Ezekiel, another man of God, verse 4 on down, it says, and I looked, and behold, a whirlwind came out of the north, a great cloud and a fire enfolding itself. And I actually have video of this. I actually have video of a cloud, a chariot, with that fire enfolding itself. It's like an amber light type, like a fire. And I actually have the proof of it. And there's proof of it out there, because the video definitely went viral. So these scrolls, these scriptures, they're not lying, because God is not a liar. Ezekiel 1:4, and I looked, and behold, a whirlwind came out of the north, a great cloud and a fire enfolding itself. And the brightness was about it, and out of the midst thereof as the color of amber, out of the midst of the fire. Also out of the midst thereof came the likeness of 4 living creatures. And we know these are the angels. These are the angels that are spiritually manipulating these heavenly aircrafts, or even driving them per se. And this was their appearance. They had the likeness of a man, and everyone had 4 faces, and everyone had 4 wings. And their feet were straight feet, and the sole of their feet was like the sole of calf's foot, and they sparkled like the color of burnished brass. What color is brass? Well, brass is the color of you melanated individuals. So even the heavenly host have hue and melanated. Just something to add there. I find that interesting. Second Esdras, back to old Esdras. Second Esdras 13, to furthermore prove my point on the Space Force and all the lies that NASA has come up with. Because when you do your due diligence, you'll realize that NASA means deceive in Hebrew. NASA means deceive in my native tongue. And then when you break down the logo, you see the serpent's tongue within NASA, the logo. Deceiver, deceive. The earth is not round, or at least round as like they say it is. The earth is more so flat, and we live in like an ecosystem. More so. Second Esdras 13:3, and I beheld, and lo, that man waxed strong with the thousands of heaven. So it seems like you're really going to need a space force if 1,000 Salak. It seems like you're really going to need a space force if you have 1,000 upon 1,000 angels coming in, and then you have one of these angels, which is the lead, or I should say the leader. Second Esdras 13:3, and I beheld, and lo, that man waxed strong with the thousands of heaven. And when he turned his countenance to look, all the things trembled that were seen under him. So look at that. It says, verse 6 of Second Esdras 13, prophecy, 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 prophecy. But I beheld, and lo, he had graven himself a great mountain, and flew up upon it. Space Force. So not only are these individuals coming to break forth the skies, they're coming with angelic technology. So much so that Yahweh Shai HaMashiach was seen flying upon a great mountain. Verse 6 of 2nd Esdras 13, all over again. But I beheld, and lo, he had graven himself a great mountain and flew up upon it. Now peep what Esdras has stated in verse 7. But I would have seen the region or place whereout the hill was graven, and I could not. So this great mountain was huge. It was so huge that Esdras couldn't decipher. Esdras couldn't decipher the beginning or the ending or the sides of it. Just how huge this great angelic vehicle was. And we always state this, the apostles, salak, or prophets, or servants of God that really read the word. We always bring out a movie that's similar unto it, and that is the movie Independence Day. Independence Day, and how the big ship came out of the mist of the atmosphere and invaded the earth, and it was huge. But I always think of these scrolls, these prophecies, whenever I see these Space Force flags or NASA or anything dealing with space. The thing is, prophecy is set in stone, and the prophecies are the prophecies. Shalom Yasharallah, Shalom Yahawada.